get a lot with Joe Strabo to be the town supervisor. Great guy.
That'll be a great backdrop there.
He is.
Donald Trump want us to feel like their power is unstoppable. It's not. They really want us to feel divided and alone. Do people out here feel alone today? Because we're not alone. There are close to 2,000 No King rallies in every state in the country, in cities, in small towns, in rural areas, and in suburbs like ours. And that gives me hope. Today we join with millions of patriotic Americans to say enough. Can you say enough with me? Enough! Donald Trump thinks the flag, the army, the country belongs to him. Well, what do you think? But we know they don't. So today we link arms with millions of people all around the nation, and we say loud and clear, this country belongs to us. And we will peacefully defend it, our democracy, and each other. I also want to say really quickly that there's a couple here that I just met for the first time that are celebrating their 45th wedding anniversary with us. And this is how they chose to spend it, because this is how important it is. So thank you to them as well.
All right, thank you. And Rachel, thanks for those kind words. And before we get started, will you join me in a moment of silence, in a silent prayer for Melissa Hortman and John Hoffman, two of my legislative colleagues from Minnesota who were shot this morning in Champlin, Minnesota, and in Brooklyn Park, Minnesota. So please join me. Thank you. And let me begin. Yes, we all know how serious this is. Let me begin by thanking as well the Nassau County Police Department, the professionals in the Nassau County Police Department who are here with us today to watch over and to protect us. Now, I also want to thank Engage Long Island, Sully, and Link for putting this together. Now, you all can see it's raining. But you are not fair weather sailors, nor are you summer soldiers. We are here because we care. And if you care about the future of American democracy, then you join us. If you care, you may care because we are fortunate to live here on Long Island, which was where the American Revolution started in large measure with what was called the Battle of Long Island. And we are here today on what was once called and may still be called the Hempstead Plains. And this is an area that played a critical role during the Battle of Long Island. Throughout the Revolutionary War, Long Islanders remained largely loyal to the proposition that democracy matters a whole lot more than tyranny. And we stand for that. So, if you care about a national administration that decides to pardon Robert Keith Packer, the guy who wore the January 6th traitor, Robert Keith Packer, who wore the Camp Auschwitz sweatshirt on January 6th. And look, you are here, you know what's at stake. And I don't care if it rains for the next 40 hours. Oh.
Sorry, I can't.
No. No, Rachel, no, don't tell anybody. I just have an aversion to to umbrellas. It's okay. And I don't mind. But thanks for watching out for me. Will we stand together? Yes! Will we fight for democracy? Yes! Will we fight to make sure our children are safe? Yes! I cannot tell you how proud I am of each and every one of you. And if we could somehow bottle what is in our hearts and what is in our minds when it comes to the belief that we have to fight for democracy, we would be able to send that down to Washington, D.C., and hopefully share it with people who are in positions of making international and national decisions, who really are no more and no less than professional wrestlers. And this is nothing against professional wrestlers, but let us stand together and let us resolve, no matter whether it's raining, hailing, sleeting, snowing, we will not give up. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts with you. And everyone, stay safe. And let me leave you with this. The highlight of my governmental and political career was getting to meet John Lewis, because I was in high school and watched on television what happened at the Edmund Pettus Bridge in March of 1965. And I got to share with Congressman Lewis that has always helped shape my political philosophy, probably more than anything else. And as Congressman John Lewis used to like to say, and I'll leave you with this, keep the faith, my friends. Thank you.
Chuck, 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 Chuck. Thank you, Assemblymember Lavine. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for standing up and defending democracy. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Happy Flag Day. We are here standing for the democratic ideals that this flag stands for. So when I say whose flag, you say our flag. Whose flag?
Our flag.
Whose flag?
Our flag.
Whose flag?
Our flag.
Whose flag?
Our flag.
That's right. My name is Emily Kaufman. I am a proud member of LINK, the Long Island Network for Change. We are so proud to stand beside Engage Long Island and Show Up Long Island, and so many others who made today possible. It is my privilege to introduce Assemblyman Phil Ramos, Deputy Speaker of the New York Assembly. And I want to give you just a brief background for those who don't know about this incredible man and representative. Assemblyman Ramos was raised here on Long Island in Brentwood, where he has lived for 60 years. He began his career as an EMT, followed by 2 decades with the Suffolk County Police Department, where he did very important work. He secured reforms within the SCPD by challenging discriminatory practices through a federal consent decree. That's right. He made history in 2002 as the first Latino elected to state office on Long Island. And later, Assemblyman Ramos was the first Latino to serve as Deputy Speaker in Assembly history. He currently holds 2 of the most influential positions in the state legislature. He has stood on the right side of history, standing up for our immigrant communities. He helped champion the Green Light Bill. He is a strong champion of New York for all. And throughout his career, Deputy Speaker Ramos has been a steadfast advocate for working families, economic justice, and civil rights, both here on Long Island, throughout the state. Please join me. It is my privilege and my honor to introduce Deputy Speaker Ramos.
Thank you. Long Island, are we united today? Today is the day that we rise. Today is the beginning of this movement where throughout the country we will fight against this attack on our democracy. As she mentioned, my name is Assemblyman Phil Ramos, Deputy Speaker of the New York State Assembly. But today I stand before you not just as your Assemblyman, not just as an elected official, but as the son of Puerto Rican parents, as a proud Latino, as a man, and also as a man who has had enough. Enough of the fear, enough of lies, enough of a government that targets its own people. While families across this nation are hiding in fear, while mothers in Brentwood are praying that their children make it home safely, while ICE agents tear fathers from their families without warrants, Donald Trump is having a birthday party today. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. A North Korea-style military parade in our nation's capital on the same day that our communities are under siege. This isn't leadership. This isn't patriotism. This is a slap in the face to every hard-working person in this country. This is a parade for himself, while our people are marched to detention centers. Let me be clear. We will not be silenced. We will not be intimidated. And we will not back down. Look at the audience here. We are here today, Latino, Black, white, Asian, indigenous, gay, straight, disabled, non-disabled. Not to beg for our rights, not to beg for our rights, but to claim them. We are the majority. We are the workers. We are the soul of this country.
That's right.
And today, from this very soil of Long Island, we send a message that will echo from Brentwood to Brooklyn, from Los Angeles to DC. This is not a dictatorship. This is a democracy, and we are taking it back. Let me tell you why I fight at Albany. Because as the first Latino deputy speaker in our state's history, I know that representation is not about just a title. It's about responsibility. I am fighting for every single day to make sure that we pass policies that we need to stop the floodgates of hate that have gripped this country. That is why I'm calling on all my colleagues, all my elected colleagues in New York State, to pass the New York for All Act. It's a bill that makes it crystal clear that our local police are not pawns for the president or rogue county executives. No more backdoor deportations. No more turning police into ICE agents. No more weaponizing fear. Now let me speak directly to the administration. You may have tanks. You may have tear gas. You may have propaganda. But we have the truth. We have the law. And most of all, we have the people. Let me say something that needs to be said, especially today, especially here. Right now, they are arresting Latino U.S. citizens simply because they look the part. This has happened here on Long Island. That's not public safety. That's not law enforcement. That is racial profiling, plain and simple. As someone who has served as a police officer for 20 years, I know what good policing looks like. And this ain't it. In good policing, we don't stop people based on their skin tone. We don't demand IDs from U.S. citizens without cause. And we don't let rogue agencies abuse their authority and terrorize entire communities. No American, especially in New York, should ever have to prove their right to exist on our own streets. That's not justice, that's harassment. That's unconstitutional. And we will not stand for it. Not on Long Island, not in New York, not anywhere in this country. Somehow, the powers that be, while we have a country that 1% owns more wealth than 99%, somehow they have convinced a portion of our country that the person that's taking something away from them is the guy who mows their lawn, the person who takes care of their kid, while 1% owns all the wealth. But when we march, just like generations before us, when we link arms, like Cesar Chavez did, like Martin Luther King did, link arms like Rosa Parks did, like the heroes of Stonewall and Selma, when we do that, we become unstoppable. The people are rising, not in chaos as you see here, but in purpose. We don't rise in chaos, we rise organized as we're doing to here. A multitude of organizations that have been brought together. We are not here in hate, we are here in hope. We are not here to destroy, we are here to build a better country. A country where immigrants are not hunted, but honored. I've watched families ripped apart without cause. I've had enough. We are not asking for permission to live free. Let me remind you of something powerful. We are not guests in this country. We built this country brick by brick, crop by crop, nail by nail. So let us call this moment what it is. Let's call this moment what it is. It is fascism, dressed up in fireworks. Oppression, wearing a red tie. That's what it is. It is tyranny, disguised as patriotism. Patriotism that they have converted to what I call patriotism. But guess what? We've seen this before, especially the immigrant community. We see what's going on. We wish that Americans all would see what's happening in this country. And every time we show up, and every time we have fought back against tyranny, the people have won. So today we fight back. We fight back to every ICE agent sent to terrorize a child. And I say to them, your orders are illegal. Your mission is immoral. And we will fight until no child cries behind a chain link fence. Until no one is treated as disposable in the land that they call home. Until all rights are respected, uplifted, and not abused. My name is Phil Ramos, and I will never stop until justice rolls down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream. May God bless you all, and may God bless America. Keep up the fight, united as we all are. And God bless you. Thank you.
How about another round of applause for that passionate leadership from Assemblyman Ramos? Thank you. Thank you. My name is Dr. Krief, one of today's organizers and a member of Engage Long Island. So the president likes to say that the people who gather at these rallies like today that we're having here hate this country. Is he right? Is he right? He could not be more wrong. We are here today carrying our flags because we love this country. And the possibilities it represents and has represented for generations before us. We are here today because we are the patriots fighting for our democracy. We've organized many rallies these past few years, marching against hate and family separation, rallies to protect our health care and abortion rights. But this one feels more dire and urgent because today we gather to protect the very right to gather and protect our free speech. This moment in history feels ominous and precarious. The reality of where we are is undeniably weighty, and what is at stake is very, very real. As a pediatrician, as a mother, I fear for our children's future as we see fascism take hold and the world order dismantled. I
I worry about their opportunities, their education, and their safety. I worry about their health and their well-being. This was a particularly unsettling and alarming week for pediatricians like myself and for scientists and public health experts. In his book On Tyranny, Timothy Snyder links the erosion of truth and disdain for expert knowledge to the conditions that enable fascist regimes to rise. He warns that dismissing science and facts is a hallmark of authoritarian politics. And this week, RFK Jr. dismissed all 17 members of the ACIP. The deeply respected and highly vetted group of scientists responsible for approving vaccines in this country, and replaced them with discredited conspiracy theorists. Carl Sagan warned that when we are unable to distinguish between what's true and what's false, when we are unable to find experts who are trusted, we slide, almost without noticing, into superstition and darkness. He understood that a society that ignores science is easier to control through fear and lies. All this, along with funding cuts to scientific research and development, the pushing through of a budget with Medicaid cuts that will slash health care for millions of hardworking and vulnerable Americans, children and families that it will impact us all, and is deeply, deeply troubling. So it's easy to feel overwhelmed right now and powerless, even hopeless and frightened at times. That's why rallies like this are so important right now, so empowering, because at this moment, it's more important than ever to remember that in this country, the power is with the people. The power is with the people. And that's why at moments like this, it's so important for our leaders and elected officials to speak out, to inspire us with their words, give us hope, and move us to action. Inspiring speakers like the Lieutenant Governor of the great state of New York, Antonio Delgado, who we are so grateful to be able to welcome today. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for being here.
Nassau County. Nassau County, how you doing out there? How we doing out there? Come on now, how we doing out there? I need more. Our country's on the line. It is good to be with you, Eve. Thank you for the introduction. Today's a day where we remember who we are. We remember we fought a revolutionary war for freedom and for democracy. We remember we didn't like monarchies or being ruled by a king or bloodline. We remember we didn't like the idea of your race, your class, your status dictating your power and your voice. We remember that we didn't sign up for a president who would commandeer the National Guard on Americans. We remember we wouldn't deploy the military on American soil to dissent the voices of American citizens, not here in America. I stand here on the courthouse steps with and alongside and in support of our law enforcement. Understand that we are a nation of laws. We are a nation where we abide by the rule of law. No one is above the law. Equal protection under the law. Without the law, this is anarchy. Without the law, there is destruction and disorder. Without the law, the most vulnerable amongst us get trampled upon. The voiceless, the invisible, get hurt and crushed. The mighty take what they want. and the weak suffer what they must, but not in America. Too much bloodshed. Too many wars have been fought. The greatest generation beat back Nazism, beat back fascism. We call them the greatest generation for a reason. And that greatness does not stem from military might. That greatness does not stem from tanks and missiles. That greatness stems from our values and our principles and what it means to be an American. That greatness stems from freedom and liberty and truth and compassion and dignity for everybody. That is where this greatness comes from. And that is America. That is why the world over loves this country. That is why the world over comes to this country, searching for freedom, searching for justice, searching for opportunity for everybody. There is no pecking order. There is no stratification. Everybody has to line up and fall in line. Everybody, no matter who you are, you're equal. Always remember that democracy is a moral endeavor. It is a moral endeavor. What do I mean by that? It is built on a moral idea, and that moral idea is that we are all created equal. We are all God's children. That is a moral idea, and that shared humanity is built on our capacity to love one another. If we lose sight of that moral essence of who we are as Americans, of that moral essence of what it means to be a democracy, it will crumble and turn on itself. And we will scapegoat communities when that economic pain is being felt by everybody across this country and everybody across this state. That economic pain is all of our pain. And we must embrace it as Americans and as New Yorkers and not be divided and not scapegoat communities, but stand together in our shared humanity and love and fight for each other and demand justice for everybody. We can talk about left and right politics all day long, but you know what? Democracy needs moral leadership more than it needs anything else. It needs moral leadership. When I ran for Congress in upstate in the Hudson Valley, 90% white district, a district that Trump won by 7 points 2 years prior, the 8th most rural congressional seat in the country, and no Democrat had ever won it. No person of color had ever won it, and everybody said it was impossible to win. You know what won? Love won. Truth won. So don't make this about right and left. Don't let that happen. All red-blooded Americans know what's right versus what's wrong. All of us know it. But you gotta lean in and believe it. And meet people where they are. Open up your heart. Be vulnerable and trust the process. Bring grace and mercy into the equation. And love, not a weak Cupid love, a strong, demanding love. A love that says, where's the accountability? That is what this moment is about. That is why you're here. Deep inside, you know that. You feel that. Because you're an American. And you're a human being. And you understand that we can't let folks trample upon the weak. We can't let power dictate everything. Power is not meant to be a bludgeon tool. Power is meant to be a channel through which you help and lift up communities. Power is not meant to be concentrated and you control people and dictate their lives. Power is meant to be shared, to lift up everybody in the name of freedom and justice and truth. That is what power means. And power should always lie with the people, through the people. Let me say this before I go. We have a long way to go, and it's not going to be easy. We got a fight ahead of us. But if we know our history, and we know from whence we've come, we know how to overcome. We know what it's going to take. Division, extremism, violence is never the answer. It cannot be the answer. What the answer is togetherness, is unity, is our values, like compassion and empathy and facts and truth and respect, the things we teach our children. I'm a father, 11-year-olds, twin boys. I worry what they see. I worry who they model their lives after. Does character mean anything anymore? Does being honest mean anything anymore? When my child says to me, is it okay to cheat? No, it's not okay to cheat. It's not okay to lie. Don't let the folks in power who got there because they cheated and because they keep lying fool you or make you think otherwise. To all the children here right now, remember that. There's a better way. There's a more honest way. There's a way that counts for all of us. And here in New York, I'll just say this, and here in New York, if we don't get this right, if we don't wave the flag for freedom and progress, well, I pray for our country. Because here in New York, we led the LGBTQ plus movement. We led the labor movement. We found the NAACP. Here in New York, we led the environmentalist movement, the climate movement. Change starts here in New York. We're the ones who wave the flag for freedom and progress. We're the epicenter for multiculturalism and tolerance and acceptance and diversity and equity. That's what New York is. Don't tell me we don't need diversity. We are diversity. We are inclusion. We are tolerance. It's who we are. So hold on to what it means to be a New Yorker. Hold on to what it means to be an American. But more importantly, hold on to what it means to be a human being. I love every single one of you. I'm gonna fight with every single one of you with love and nothing but love. God bless.